నేహానికి వస్తుంది. ఈ వరకు వస్తుంది, వాళ్ళకి కాలింగ్ కావాలంటే బ్యాక్ సైడ్ వినడానికి
మానిటర్ పెంచు.
Hello, check, check, hello, check, 1, 2, 3. Hello, check, hello, hello, check, check, hello, hello, check, check, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 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 check, hello, check, check.
Ranjit is just coming.
Can the camera turn this side? Where is the camera? Can they see there?
So when did you come?
Camera here?
On the call. Yes. You are also hosting. Very cool.
Can you guys hear us?
I can hear you.
Yes, I think we can definitely hear each other. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Karan.
Which part of the world are you in? Are you California or are you Seattle?
I'm in Hillsborough.
Hillsborough. Nice.
Where exactly you are?
I moved back to Seattle, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Because
Yes, trying to. I don't talk about what is going to
Yeah, so we'll give 2 3 minutes and then we're going to start the session. So please do settle in and of course, hi to your friends and so on.
Day night yesterday.
After 2:30. Not a 10 a.m. class or 6:30 a.m. PT. Maybe should have had 6:30 a.m. PT for all the alumni occasion.
No, but they would have come for lunch though, right?
6:30 a.m. PT. Yeah. All registered alumni. PAN would be 85% attendance. You had PT? When, sir? We did, sir.
Sir, we had. We had.
Our batch. We all had.
Yeah.
No, this year we started. I did not have. First batch.
Maybe we were the guinea pigs.
No, we were. You were the first batch. Okay. I saw it.
I mean, you can look at each other, but if you want to address them, just look at them.
Karan, did you see?
Yeah, so Vipul is here, Karan. That's a message we are passing to you.
Oh, is it? Sorry. Yeah. Unless you speak in the microphone, we can't hear you on the call. So Shailesh can only hear you if you speak to the microphone.
Yeah, so right now we cannot be speaking because we are just going to start the session in 1 2 minutes.
Say hi to Vipul.
So, students, if there is any friend or someone who would like to call, this is the time because we are starting the event. So, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good lunch. So, now we continue with our sessions. This one being Alum panel discussion, AI for society. Without much further ado, I will introduce everyone on stage. So, our first alumni panel discussing AI in society is comprised of senior alumni leaders in the corporate sector. Joining us online will be alumni Karandeep Anand and Shailesh Kumar. Joining us in person, we have alumni Saujanya Lanka, Varun Bapana, and Pavan Kumar Dasari. Karandeep Singh Anand was from the second batch of BTech and graduated in 2003. He got the opportunity to start at Microsoft while still studying at IIIT, given how progressive IIIT was with its industry partnerships and how flexible it was with its curriculum. Continued at Microsoft for 14 years and got to work on Windows, Office, and most notably building Microsoft's cloud business, Azure. He then moved to Facebook to run several different businesses ranging from gaming, marketplace, commerce, ads, and eventually all business products. He is now the Chief Product Officer of Brex, a leading fintech startup. Outside of work, he gets to spend time with his 4-year-old daughter and traveling to explore new cultures and food. So, a round of applause for Mr. Karandeep Singh Anand. Mr. Shailesh Kumar is from the batch of BTech CSE 2000. Shailesh Kumar is a senior vice president and head of engineering at ClickUp, leading the engineering, security, and IT operations for the company. He has more than 18 years of experience in building large-scale organizations and cloud platforms for high-growth enterprise companies, including his role as vice president of engineering at MuleSoft and head of data platform and server teams at Tableau. We welcome you, sir, and a huge round of applause for him. Varun Bapana is from the IIIT graduating batch of 2008 and says he still remembers his roll number clearly. And since then, he's more or less left core tech and is currently a managing director and partner at Boston Consulting Group. He works with large Indian players primarily in the metals, mining, building materials, and automotive space. He works on various topics, key amongst them being strategy, organizational behavior, operations turnaround, supply chain excellence, and digital transformation. He did his MBA from IIM Lucknow in 2012. A big round of applause for sir. Saujanya Lanka is our first batch alumnus. She serves as Principal Applied Scientist at PayPal within the Customer Service Division. Her main areas of interest are natural language understanding, search, and conversational AI. She has an overall of over 15 years in the corporate world working in startups as well as established large MNCs. She holds 2 degrees from IIIT, undergraduate degree and doctoral degree in computer science and engineering. She also serves as alumni observers in IIIT's governing council for 2 consecutive terms. We welcome you, ma'am, to this panel discussion. Pavan Kumar Dasari is the Principal Engineering Manager at Microsoft. He's from the graduating batch of 2012. He has done his CS dual degree BTech and MS by research, worked primarily with search engines and infusing AI technologies into office products. He worked with Professor PJN during his BE and MS in computer graphics and data visualization. He's currently acting as mentor for startups in CIE. He participated as internal startup in Microsoft Accelerator. We welcome you, sir. And last but not the least, it's my honor to introduce our moderator, Professor Praveen Parachuri. He's an alumnus from the first batch, and he did his PhD from the University of Southern California and in multi-agent systems and game theory. Armed with a postdoctorate degree from Carnegie Mellon University, he returned to IIIT to be a faculty and now specializes in AI and machine learning, and he has taken courses for me as well. So we welcome you, Professor. So I hope it's a great discussion and we learn a lot. And now I hand it over to our moderator, Professor Praveen Parachuri.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introductions and welcome to the panel. So we'll start the panel, which is AI for Society. So I think given the short duration, I'm skipping any words from my side. And what we'll do is we'll get into the first question right away so that the panelists can share their thoughts. So the first question we have here is based on your work background or experiences, please share 2 applications or technologies that enable such applications that would be great fit for the umbrella of AI for Society. So you can add in inputs or whatever details you know of these applications, but that's the question. So we can start off with Varun. I request Varun to start off this answer.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, thanks. So first off, thanks so much for putting me on this panel. It's weird to have me talking about AI, and given I hardly work in AI, but maybe I'm that's Meenakshi ma'am's joke on me. Nonetheless, I think this AI for Society topic, right? I mean, I think at least see, so the space I work in, and given the question was around the space I work, and I work a lot in metals, mining, auto, driving improvement, driving strategy, driving next business models over there. And that's the space I work in. I think there are the 3 big areas which I just was thinking about in AI for Society, right? So there is one around how AI is going to hit culture, ways people interact with each other. Are you ever going to have a boyfriend/girlfriend going forward? All those kind of questions, right? Around AI and how that hits culture. Honestly, I don't care about that space. It will evolve in its own pace, and so be it. Someone will make money out of it. I don't know. Okay. The second bit of it is around AI for SDG goals. So SDG goals are the UN Sustainability Development Goals. So we're going to fail on those, right? There are a set of goals we have set up for 2030. We're all going to fail on that. And it's sad that we are, but how can we use AI to create a step jump there? And that honestly is where as a society, as a world, as a country, it's just gone very badly. The amount of technology used to improve that, to improve reach of medical, improve education, is just been quite sad. And I hope that's where a lot more impact of AI starts coming in. The third one for me, which is actually amongst the 3 most closest to my heart, is how do we make AI it's not a solution which someone in this room has developed and then someone else has to and gets applied on someone else. How do I get I think maybe it's a stupid example, but let me use the parallel. Excel unlocked productivity in jobs big time, right? And if I rewind 10-12 years ago when I joined the workforce, many professionals couldn't use Excel well. Today, it's unlocked productivity, and every professional uses it well. what does this mean for AI? Can the head of a paints company in West India use AI to do a better job? And how do we make that happen versus telling him from the top, this is what you have to do given what AI is saying? I think those are the three areas which I would like kind of think through as I think about AI for society.
Okay, so thank you. So we'll get back to it in the second question. Again, you may bring your answer in the second question. So the next person will go with Karandeep. So Karandeep, can you please share your response?
Happy to build on it. I think I'm going to just build on Varun's example because AI means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Obviously, AI has been around for a long time. So let's just take one real example to see what everyone in the room can help with. And I think that's where anytime you've seen big technology shifts, think of mobile, think of cloud, what it does is it changes the fundamental access that all of us sitting in rooms have it. Like I don't think I would be here today in case back in the 80s, a company like Microsoft did not make PCs accessible to all of us. Like that's an example where anything which is such fundamental shift in tech can change access to what we're doing. Cloud computing, you can run a 100,000 machine cluster sitting in Hyderabad right now and run like massive computation. You could not have done it in case cloud was not real. So I think the question then becomes, how do you take the power of AI that you have access to, just sitting literally on your desktop today, and bring it to the good of the society? I think the one very simple example I want to take, which all of us can relate to, is the number of students in India who don't have access to great education, but fundamentally started getting access based on YouTube and Khan Academy is a great example of content being available through cloud and through streaming, giving access to just education. But that doesn't fill the gap of requiring a real tutor, right? So you don't have a real tutor educating you because you can listen to a lesson and you get stuck in a problem solving, saying, okay, I don't know what to do after this math calculation, next step. That was not possible before AI. I think what AI is a very simple example is can now understands context. And I think that's the part of the Gen AI or LLMs that I'm personally very excited about, is taking something like that, which is a hard or impossible problem to solve, is to reason over context. And I think that's one thing I would just like, nudge everyone, saying you could actually now build a personal tutor for every kid in India, accessible over a mobile phone at a cost which is, was unthinkable in the past. That is what AI can actually do. So I think, yes, I agree with Varun, like there are a lot of really hard problems we need to go solve with on sustainability, on hopefully, preventing wildfires and detecting. But I think one that is very close to my heart is, can folks in this room today just take what is available off the shelf in AI and create a personal tutor in local language for every kid in India? And that would be an example of AI for society, which touches 1 billion people in very, very short time.
Thank you. Thank you, Karan. I'll request Shailesh, who is online again, to please share your thoughts.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm going to riff on what Karan was saying. I think AI has been a generational change for all of us. And it's not that AI was not there. AI was here probably for a long time. But with Gen AI, AI has become so accessible to everyone that I'm in the Bay Area. And the amount of innovation I am seeing in the Bay Area purely based on Gen AI, based on the availability of the LLMs and how sophisticated they are, which is outstanding. If you look at right now, there are many companies out there where we do data analysis, and data analysis at its next level. It means that you can give it millions and billions of records, and it will give you insights within seconds. You don't have to deploy or hire data scientists or ML engineers to actually do a lot of those analysis. And those analyses are the ones that is unlocking a lot of good for the society. There are two areas which probably is closer to me, is more around, one is around medical technologies. Like if I look at the drug analysis, or if you take a lot of the amount of statistics that went into drugs and drug discovery and overall research and development of drugs, it took a long time for any drug to come in the market. From the time you start collecting data, it would take like more than 5 to 10 years. Just imagine that by the time you found that, maybe this compound would work for specific treatment, it takes 5 to 10 years for that to hit market. I think that one is going to be revolutionized, and the time to market will reduce. Of course, there are again some complications around going through Fed or going through other agencies, but from an analysis perspective, I'm already seeing there are companies out there which is just innovating at a fast speed in terms of reducing the time to market. how much time you need, how much data you need. So the analysis that is available at fingertips, everyone, with Gen AI and proprietary LLMs or LLMs that are already out there with Llama 2 and others, it's just outstanding. The second area which I'm also seeing is, which is closer to me also, is more around environment. In fact, there are a lot of companies out there. There's this company which I'm advising called Regrow. And what they do is they're using AI to now look at a lot of environment, a lot of land that is not being used correctly. And they're trying to use AI to understand what kind of crops or what kind of plants they can grow on that land next, which will be most beneficial. So there's very innovative ways how people are trying to use AI and more specifically data analysis to specifically solve problems that was very, very hard and that are out of reach for everyone. So there are two areas which is, I think it will do a lot of good for society, is around environment and medical science. And again, I think we are early. We are very early in Gen AI space. Given the thing with Gen AI has done is that AI is available to everyone. Right now, you take a startup of like 2% startup or a 5% startup, you don't need to have a massive AI team to have AI available to you. And that unlocks entrepreneurship. That unlocks everyone to go and solve problems which was not available. And that is the paradigm shift we are seeing with AI.
Thank you. So the next, I would like to invite Saujanya to share her thoughts.
Hello. Yeah, thank you for having me here, and a great question to start with. I think when we think of AI for society, the first thing that comes to at least my mind is, society keeps evolving. Society operates on a daily basis. Whatever are the friction points of society, I think if AI can be leveraged to address those friction points, that in itself is a huge win for the society altogether. So in fact, all the panelists, in fact, have touched various sectors, right from environment, education, medicine, and pharmacy, drug discovery. So these are all very important aspects to ensure that the society continues to evolve. Culture of the society is also evolving. No doubt we are now at a junction where AI has taken yet another leap with generative AI. And we are seeing most of its results in textual domains, where we are able to see how it is able to generate new text, new images, new content. But I think when it comes to society, ensuring that AI is operating in the right fashion, ethically, legally, with under various policies to ensure that the society is intact, to ensure it does not disrupt the society. I think these are actually some of the key areas for us to start investing in, defining, and so that we are able to leverage a much better AI for society definition and scope. And from there, take different projects. So, I would say the possibilities are immense with generative AI coming in. But I think we first need to understand how is it that we're going to define this and ensure that, the AI solutions can be leveraged in the right manner. Thank you.
So I request Pawan to share thoughts.
Thank you. Well, folks here already covered majority of the content. What I would probably ask fundamentally is, how do we view a society? What is a society for? Right? Each one has their own perspective of a society. Well, for students here, maybe the college itself is a society, right? And each one has their own views on how society should operate. But fundamentally, I just look at it as two pieces. Is it livable and is it sustainable? So as long as these four concepts are addressed, I think society will continue to exist and flourish. And coming to the examples, in order for us to have a livable and a sustainable society, the two core areas are always going to be health and education in my perspective. And as long as we ensure that we do the right things, there are always going to be, it's always a double-edged sword. Any technology that comes in always has good, bad, pros, cons. There's definitely going to be going to be some cons and some ways in which it can be misused. But what is a good that we can get is these two areas fundamentally, and I believe I will err a little on the side of saying not AI but machine learning, yeah, we have a fundamental shift in how it happens, and definitely in the next decade it's going to be a lot more exciting.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your perspective on this. So the next is a follow-up question to whatever the examples were provided. But before going to that, let's start off with something more of a personal question here, which is please share any interesting experience, anecdote, or memory from your IIIT days. So that's the question. So we'll start off again with Varun. Yeah. Yeah, please. Okay, we want to start with folks online. Okay, Karan, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think I'm old enough that hopefully I will not get punished for this now. So I can start with this little story. I used to I think I mentioned this in the bio is I used to go finish my classes from 8 to 3, and then I would sneak out to go work at Microsoft from 4 to midnight. I'm going to come back and sneak in, and obviously the gates were closed, and we would climb over and somehow show up I've been on campus for a long time, and I almost invariably would get into trouble with where are you sneaking in the campus from at midnight? But luckily, a lot of profs, Professor PJ and Professor Kamal, they were I think they very conveniently turned a blind eye, saying, okay, chalta hai, it's fine, this goes on. But I had a blast of a time where you could show up at midnight, still get the Maggie at night in the cafeteria, and just pick up as if things never happened. So everyone from the security guard out there to doing samosas and doing midnight Maggie was probably something I still remember.
Thank you. Yeah, so just so the audience is aware, the two questions were leaked, but this question was not given beforehand. Okay, so whatever answers you are getting are just on the fly. So let's start off with the next person, Shailesh.
I'll go with what Karan was saying, that I hope that I'm old enough that I'll not get in trouble. But I think one thing what we used to do, which I still remember very fondly, and now it's not available because the whole Gachipoli area has changed so much, is that back then, IIIT used to be the only building in that whole area. So there was University of Hyderabad, there was IIIT, and everything was a jungle. It was forest and full of trees. So we would sit on top of OBH on the roof and would bet people, okay, that who can cross and who can go in this forest and go as far as you can and come back. Well, it's not available to you anymore because I think it's all concrete now, but that was so much fun. Of course, we would bet different people and we'll go from there, how far you can go. I still remember that so fondly. It was a great memory from IIIT days.
Nice. Yeah, so we'll request Pawan to start here. Yeah. Yeah.
Now?
Yes.
Multiple of them, primarily, of course, we are gonna be late to the first class. 8:30 morning class is gonna be the most difficult class to attend. Right. And then, of course, we've got to learn a lot. We got to play a lot, and birthdays especially were scary. So, yeah, I think Rahul remembers as well, and how that used to happen. So, yeah, pretty much I think what the others have covered, not in that sense, but yeah, even we had trouble just going to Indiranagar or to Mehdipatnam, where we had to take a share auto, 10 people, 15 people squeezing in because there were no buses. Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, thank you. And I request Saujanya to.
You mentioned the challenges of going to place outside of it after 6 p.m. or after sunset, clearly come, and it's almost unimaginable for because I would say now it looks way different. I mean, you have a thriving nightlife here, probably. I was on that, but having said that, that only made advanced when these are bonding, and whenever there was a need, it was always a group that used to go out and come back in as a group. So these are memories that I would cherish for my life.
Thank you. So Varun has got a chance to change his first answer. So I don't know what that first answer was, but yes, please go ahead.
For folks online, I don't think, I think Varun, you're not audible. The mic input hasn't been changed from Varun to you. FYI.
Hello.
Yep, better.
So two quick things come to my mind. I'm from Hyderabad, and once in a while I go home, rarely. But once in a while I go home, and then my mom and dad would drop me in college. And they would say, and when guys would drop me, and I'd be like, drop me outside, it's fine, don't go inside the house, don't go to the college. And they keep insisting to drop me up till OPH. And when they turn up at OPH, it's so embarrassing. Each time they go back, what is wrong with you, boy? Like 12 in the night, there's so much noise, people are playing cricket, people are screaming and shouting, but people think CS somewhere. Right? And if you turn up your campus at 10 in the morning, it's so quiet and that was strange. The second thing was I was not very tech. I lost interest in comp scenes sometime at the end of my first year. I didn't really, it didn't really hit me, but for whatever reason. Rahul knows, no one knows, whatever. And then I spent a lot of time just messing around quite a bit. Every of my 4 years in IIIT, I've gone to the disciplinary committee at least once. But something was not my fault.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being very open about disciplinary committee issues. Okay, so then we'll go to the next question here, which is, so over time, there are many terms like A for social good, A for society, etc., that keep coming in. So the question here is, what do you think is fundamentally different about AA for society? What is it supposed to capture versus when somebody says I'm doing AA, right? So for example, I myself have done a PhD in AA and these terms are not there at that time. So how do you convince a person like me that this AA for society is at least there is something different about it than just what I'm doing, which is general AA, right? So is there anything about it or is it supposed to be same? So how do you view this? So yeah. So again, so we'll start off with online. Okay. So Karandeep.
Yeah, I'm going to build on Shailesh's answer. I think he gave a very, very practical example of something I think I'll just build on, which is we've been using the term AI for a long time, and AI has obviously been around for a long time in the sense that it's at least been over 10 years since machine learning or deep neural networks have been around. And the biggest difference, if you think of where we are today, especially with Gen AI, is in the past you had to have somebody who's an ML expert, AI expert, to train the model, build the model, have tons of data sets to train the model, and that was a very expensive way of building net new models. I think that's obviously still going to be relevant because if you want to do something very specific, I think the example you talk about in medical research, if you want to train a new AI model to read X-rays to automatically do diagnosis, you still need to train it. So I think that's still very relevant, and hence AI is at the root of what any new innovation will happen. That doesn't change. So Praveen, you can continue doing what you're doing as an AI expert. That doesn't change. What changes is with Gen AI or large language models, the models have already been built. Now, what you get is literally two people in a startup can have access through an API to a pre-existing, very, very, very intelligent context understanding model. So you don't need to worry about building models or foundational models anymore. You can start unlocking use cases very rapidly with just fine-tuning and fine-tuning parameters. So without going into detail, it's not the same as like you have to train data sets. What this essentially does is it fundamentally unlocks. So think of this as if you learned assembly language, now you actually have very simple object-oriented programming language to go build on very quickly net new applications. So I think that'd be a step function change in doing the Gen AI based applications. Now, society applications that all of the whole panel has talked about, whether you're applying it for education, those are domain, or think of this as applications that you're building, those are apps. But I think the AI, which is a foundational model, to Gen AI, which is a pre-computed model for you to build applications, and then think of society applications as very simple apps to build on top of it, which are domain specific. So if you think of that mental model, you can unlock a lot more innovation, a lot faster, at a lot cheaper cost than what you could have done with the traditional AI ML models.
Thank you. So I'll request Shailesh.
I'll build on what Karan was saying, and also what I said was AI for society. I mean, in my mind, AI for society and in general, AI is not different. I guess I think society overall is going to benefit from Gen AI, and I'm going to get more specific about Gen AI because AI has been there for a long time. ML has been there. Deep neural networks has been there for a long time. Gen AI has unlocked AI. I think Gen AI has truly unlocked AI that 1 or 2 or 3% can do a lot more. Now, the thing which is different now is that it comes at an amazingly cheap cost. So for example, the cost you have to pay to OpenAI or any of these companies to access their APIs is very, very small. So what has happened now is that a lot of entrepreneurs, if they don't have a lot of capital to do a lot of social good, let's say if someone is trying to do anything in healthcare, you don't have to raise a lot of capital to do a lot of good for the society because of Gen AI. And that part is like unlocking immense value for society, where you talk about healthcare, you talk about like the part I was talking about is environment. Now, if you go to VCs, and I mean there are a few folks here. If you go to VCs and ask to try to raise money for environmental good luck with that. Like it's just that it will, yeah, sure, you'll get some money, but to get serious money to build an AI and ML team and data science team, yeah, good luck. Now what's happening is you don't need those teams. So you don't need to raise capital to do those things for society, do environmental changes. And that's what I think has been a big paradigm shift, that much cheaper cost will unlock a lot of things where you don't need to get VCs money to do those good. And it will unlock a lot of entrepreneurs to do those things, especially in environment. And I think healthcare. Healthcare is a lot more closer to money. So there's money there and people will invest in environment at least, and especially companies like Red Cross and others. I think it's a game changer. It's a bigger game changer than cloud. I see AI now is as big a game changer as PC was.
Thank you. I will now request Pawan to share thoughts.
As Shailesh mentioned, right, so it kind of democratized a lot of problem statements which were capital intensive, which were kind of very hard to achieve. So it kind of lowered the barrier, especially for a lot of developing countries as well. And in 10 years down the line, it's either you're part of it, you're going to be part of it, right? No matter what, you're going to be part of it. You better ride the wave. That's the way it is.
Okay, thank you. Saujanya.
But a couple of things. I think the question, the way I understood from Praveen, is that what is a KPI? How do we say this project is AI for society? What is it that, when we leverage this AI for solution, what has it achieved? I think those are the things that even I was referring to earlier as well. That is, okay, I built this AI service. I mean, I'm just saying a simple example. It's never going to be AI, it's going to be a blue screen there. But see, we build an AI solution for friction in society. It would be as simple as getting the passport ready and getting your driving license renewed automatically. A lot of things where we are seen as citizens of a country where we see friction in our day-to-day operations. And if we are able to build such a service, how much of that service has actually removed the friction, or what percentage has removed friction? I think that is the first KPI that we need to find. And as we are talking about, I'm really excited to hear about this environmental startup, which is actually trying to find out what can be done with the land. These are giving the right suggestions, and are we able to reap the benefits? And it's done in the right fashion. If we are able to have these kinds of policies, metrics to ensure that the error rate is much lesser, and we are able to, whatever output we get right from the release of the service, that we are able to leverage it productively, I'm sure we are going to go on a much faster pace even for climate change, environmental impact. So I think defining KPIs would be the way to go. And I think before we even start on implementation, we will first have that.
Yeah, thank you. And Varun?
Society, in the most obvious KPIs you can always use are just the SDG KPIs, right? The development milestone KPIs. So that you start with. But I think when we're talking about AI making that impact, there is what is the technical bit of it? And I think everyone's touched upon it at different levels. What is the technical bit of it? Which I guess Praveen said will be the best one to get together. And then how do you actually implement, which is a fully different story and an extremely complex game in itself, right? I think that bit we should not lose as we get excited about Gen AI and AI. I think that's one call out, maybe I agree. right? And I think then there are these, when we think about these use cases, we start thinking about use cases like the ones that we're talking about, right? Medical, education, so on and so forth. Actually, the use cases are at a very micro level. So, for example, random example, right? So there's a company which processes coal. You get raw coal from the ground, and then you have to make it, you have to process it, enrich it before it's used in steel. This enriching process is called a washing, it's called coal washing. Now, what it's a cross transportation that saying no one in Triton would have ever studied about it, at least the students, because it's mechanical engineering. But net, what parameters that system should run, given the quality of coal, given the chemicals we use, etc. That's a complete AI question. I mean, it's best solved through AI. But I'm sure no one in Triton is sitting to try and solve it. It's happening in that coal company, in Coal India. But how can we unlock that happening and implementing? I think is the question.
Yeah, thank you. So because we are on very tight schedule, what we'll do is we'll skip any further questions and we'll just move on to the next panel. So we just have a token of appreciation here. So yeah.
So thank you everyone for attending this session, and can we have a huge round of applause for this wonderful panel discussion. So we have a small token of appreciation for our panelists today. Firstly, Mr. Varun Bapana. Ms. Saujanya Lanka. And Mr. Pawan Kumar Jasari. So, yeah.
Our online panelists, alumni, we will mail you your gifts.
I'm happy to accept payments in Bitcoin, by the way. Thank you, guys. Pleasure meeting you all.
That's all.
So thank you so much, everyone. So we request our two online alumni, Karan Deep sir and Sajid sir, to join us for a virtual hybrid photo. So thank you so much. With this, we now move on to our next panel discussion and hand over to Purvi.
Yes, we have another panel discussion, so I would like all of you guys to remain seated. Yeah, the next panelist can just join us on stage and then we'll start with the panel discussion. So I would like to thank all the panelists of the previous panel, as well as our moderator, Professor Varshuri, for such a wonderful discussion about AI for society. Now we will move on to the next panel discussion, that is the Vision 2050 for IIIT Hyderabad. So our second alumni panel discusses the vision for IIIT Hyderabad 2050. It's comprised of senior alumni, leaders in academia and entrepreneurs. So joining us online will be alumni Professor Ashwini Vaidya and Professor Gopala Krishna Anumanchila. Joining us in person will be entrepreneur Asim Rawat, entrepreneur
Pramod Nair, and Professor Rahul Salat. So, and this is going to be moderated by Piyush Bhargava, sir. So introducing our panelists as well as the moderators. Gopala sir graduated from IIIT BTech in the year 06, stayed on for MS and graduated in 2008. He was associated with the speech part of LTRC, went on to do PhD at CMU. He now heads the Berkeley Speech Group at UC Berkeley, studying how humans speak and hear and making machines do the same. He's happy to be a part of this group, hopefully. Rahul sir did a dual degree in IIIT Hyderabad, which he extended for 7 long years. He was part of IIIT football team and captained it as well. He was also part of the IIIT cricket team as well as a music club. He's also a certified Isha Hatha yoga teacher. For more than a decade now, his research has been on designing algorithms and data structures with geometric problems. IIIT Hyderabad is very close to his heart. He's happy to be a part of this group as well. He is now an assistant professor at IISc Bangalore. Professor Ashwini Vaidya was a linguistics student who did a second degree in computational linguistics from LTRC in 2009. Post that, she went to University of Colorado Boulder for PhD. Now she's in the Humanities and Social Sciences Department at IIT Delhi. At IIIT Hyderabad, she was learning a lot about a discipline very different from hers. She enjoyed it a lot, had great lab mates and friends on campus. Apart from that, she's very interested in nature and birds and was known as Bird Didi for all the IIIT Hyderabad faculty kids. Aseem Rawal is the founder of IIITH Organics. Aseem is a first batch graduate of PGDIT 2001 to 2002. He is an open source enthusiast and has worked for around 14 years in the software industry and has traveled the world. He shifted gears in 2015 and started IIITH with the motto of preserving and propagating indigenous cows and bulls. IIITH currently manufactures 120 plus value-added products from 1,000 plus cows. Aseem has won several awards. He won the Startup of the Year 2022 award by ICAR and the National Gopal Ratna Award in 2018, which is the highest national award in agriculture and animal husbandry. Pramod Nair sir did his CS BTech 2004 to 2008 batch, same batch as Rahul sir. He is the co-founder / CTO of NodeShare Networks, a Series C startup in the logistic tech space. He has been a serial entrepreneur for the last 12 years, has a long association with IIIT Hyderabad. He ran his first startup, Learn Social, sneakily out of CIE premises. After that, he got acquired, incubated, and built his second startup, Mart Movie, within CIE. During the Mart Movie journey, he also taught a course in IIIT Hyderabad as a guest lecturer. Mart Movie got acquired in 2015 by Snapdeal. That way, he spent over 7 years at IIIT Hyderabad, but only got a BTech CSE in return. He built a startup within Snapdeal and headed engineering for free charge briefly. Has been running his latest startup, LoadShare, for the last 6 years. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Finally, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our moderator for today, that is Piyush Bhargava sir. Piyush sir is the lead consultant at ThoughtWorks. He graduated from IIIT in 2005. He's from Lucknow, but currently is settled at Hyderabad. He's happily married to Neha, an artist and former Miss India Telangana. Piyush has 2 lovely daughters, Vani and Veena. He's passionate about music and fitness, loves coding, which is why he continues to keep his hands dirty as possible in coding. Thank you guys for coming today. It's a great pleasure to have you on campus and those of you joining online. We hope for a wonderful discussion today. So I would like to hand the mic over to our moderator.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Am I audible, Ashwini and Gopal? Right? Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. I think we'll, in the interest of time, we'll quickly jump in. Meenakshi is right now right in front of me and keeping a watch on the time. So the discussion for today, as you already know, is vision for IIITH for 2050. I know IIIT is known for computer vision, but today we are not talking about computer vision. And again, pigeons are already left. So we'll stick to the vision. So usually the objective of such panel discussions, right, is to collect ideas, right? So I'll straight away jump into the topic in the interest of time. And maybe if we had to ask each one of you, right, what is your vision for IIIT in 2050? What would you have to say? And let me start with Ashwini. So Ashwini, yep, in the camera.
Thank you for the question. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yep.
So yes, I noticed that I come from a fairly different background from all of you. And as you know, I did my degree in computational linguistics at IIIT. And when I think of this period in my life, I think of the ways in which I was learning to integrate knowledge from two very different disciplines. And I think IIIT has been really wonderful in doing this sort of thinking where it, where we do research that is very interdisciplinary. And so when I think of, a vision for the future, I think that one of the things that we really need, I think, is better ways to communicate science to the general society. And one of the things everyone is talking about today is AI. And there's either an idea that AI is magic or AI is evil, right? And so the truth is neither, right? And I really think one of the things that a place like IIIT can do is actually try and set up a center to do science communication. I think IIIT already does this in terms of outreach and talking about what faculty members are working on. But I don't mean that. I mean like a place where an actual center where people are working on various kind of media to disseminate, to write articles, to train people to write this kind of science communication, so that more and more general public are better informed. And I think IIIT is in a good place to try and work on such a thing, because they have been working in this space for so many years, especially when it comes to topics like AI. So this would be kind of my my idea for the future.
Well, thank you, Ashwini. That was nice starting. Maybe I can ask you to nominate someone. So who do you want to hear from next in our panel?
Oh, you wouldn't like me to nominate the next person?
Yes.
Sure. Maybe Mr. Asim can go ahead.
All right.
Thank you so much for being considered. So my vision for IIIT would be to see it as a cradle for startups. Now that was something that I feel I missed when I was here. There was this whole idea of getting a job and getting a good job. But I think you miss a lot when you don't try things yourself and you want to get into a comfortable place or zone. There's so much of learning that doesn't happen. So if on campus you have companies running, and students become part of it, or they want to start something of their own. So you fail, you learn, and the whole process, a lot of things happen, and keep yourself busy for the right reasons. So that would be my idea, to see a lot more startups coming out from IIIT every year on year. That's about it.
Someone?
So the person on the left here.
Thanks, Sim. So as I was preparing for this in the morning, my daughter asked me what's happening, and I said I need to think about what's the vision for IIIT by 2050. And she did some math and said that she is going to be as old as I am now at 2050. It's a very humbling thought to say it's so far out in the future. But no, nothing wrong in thinking, right? So my answer is also on similar lines, being an entrepreneur myself. What I would like to see is IIIT to be a hotbed of entrepreneurial activity, for it to be a place that produces a lot of entrepreneurs, impact creators, and future leaders. While things have gotten a little better from the time that you had graduated, I think there is so much more that can happen. We do have a handful of startups from IIITians which are doing well, but that number is nowhere matching the kind of caliber of the students that pass out of IIIT or the kind of aspirations that they have. And this is a huge opportunity. And when in my startup circles, when I go to any VC events, any startup events, I see this starkly. And the other thing, and to get there, some of the ingredients that are missing is a strong alumni network, which is shaping towards this. So that's a place of huge handicap where my co-founder, who's an IITian, whenever he goes into a party, he doesn't talk to people from his IIT, he speaks to people from his wing or his building. And then here we are trying to find, is there someone else who we have met at some point of time? So having that support structure of entrepreneurs who are guiding you in the early days about what's the right thing to do, multiple choices to make, would really help in this direction. And the other thing is around inculcating this as an opportunity within the students who are passing out. So we did try to hire from IIIT, but then I think even when people don't look at research as a next option, they look at the FANGs of the world and say, okay, even if I do an internship, I need to do this kind of internship, earn so much. While there is so much more leverage that you can have, an impact that you can create by doing something of your own. And the learning curve that you would end up with is extremely high when you do something on your own. And early days of your career are very good times for you to just try your hands, get them dirty, do something, learn various facets that are not taught in the college. And that brings me to the last point around how the curriculum could also be designed in a way that it's a lot more closer to what the outside world is. Think it's already much better than many other colleges, but once I look back and I see that, oh, there is so much of things that I could have learned during college to set me up right for this kind of a career. It makes me think that working closely with alumni to have the curriculum matching a little bit more of the ongoing on the upcoming trends would be a good thing to have. And thanks. Sure, the obvious solution.
Easiest option. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. My vision for 2050 would be to build a university on, say, 3 pillars. The first pillar would, being close to me, to be research. I would really like to see IIIT really being world-class in many subfields in computer science and related fields, like some labs and faculty students really going full steam on becoming world-class. So I think that should definitely not go off the steam. That should be the first pillar. The second one we see is tackling national problems. Like if you look at universities abroad, right, they won't solve our problems in our country, right? IIIT, otherwise it's there in India. So it has to be sensitive to the issues we are facing in our country. Right? It could be poverty, it could be the healthcare, education system at high school. We have problems which are very unique to our country. So I would like to see new labs coming up, which are tackling these problems, which are not necessarily research problems, but are very close to our heart, right, for our country. So that would be the second pillar where a lot of the labs, faculty and students really spend their time solving problems which are very pro-India, urgent need. And then the third pillar would be equipping the students even better when they come to the campus, right? I mean, I have no doubt that IIIT students will be technically very good. By the end of the 2 years, 4 years that they spend here, they'll technically, of course, be very good at what they've learned. One important aspect is their inner well-being. I feel that's something that is something. For example, if let's say a student has fear in him, he could be technically very good. He might have a lot of aspirations within him, but if he has that fear within him, he won't be able to achieve his full potential. And a lot of times, these students come to us at a prime age of their life, where they're bubbling with energy. And a lot of times, what happens is over time, the enthusiasm kind of wanes down with all the things that come up in life as you go forward, right? So the question is, I think we should give equal importance to the way we give to all the technical education. Whatever tools are available, like it could be sports, yoga, meditation, they should become integral part of the curriculum so that the whole training is very holistic. Because when you do bring up leaders in the society, right? You need people who can really a strong insight as well. And for that also, I feel all possible means, like as I said, yoga, sports, music, whatever means are there, right? Which can really make wholesome and strong individuals. That should also become equally part of the curriculum.
not just the technical education. And I think only IIIT Hyderabad has a good tradition of doing that, but I think we can take it one more notch, I feel. Thanks.
Thanks, Rahul. And I think before I pass it on to Gopal, immediately your third year, for example, and there was one question also which I had planned to ask everyone, and that was primarily about how can IIIT support the students to face the mental and physical stress, which is not that evident in the college, right? But when you go out, then later on you have families, you have so much situations to build upon, you have work stress, you have so many things. I think the starting place would be college. I totally relate to that. Completely, absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, because there's I see where this can be done. It's not happening in the schools. They're spending 4 prime years of their life with us. They're here the whole time, 24/7. So I think this is our duty to do that, I feel. It's the best time to do it. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'll pass it on to Gopala. If you can also share your vision for IIIT.
Okay. I hope I'm audible. I'm very happy to be here. It is 2:30 for me, but as PJ mentioned, the true test for being a IIITian is you should be up at 2:30. So I'm happy to be here. Oh, no, I didn't say it for the class, but nonetheless, thank you very much. But no, that's the least I could do. I'm so proud that IIIT is commemorating its 25th, and I'm very happy to be involved in however little way I can. So thank you for the opportunity, first of all. So my vision for 2050, I think, well, I didn't prepare a whole lot, but I resonate with everything that has been said, so I think IIIT has done very well across many aspects, entrepreneurship, what have you, in academia. But I think so. It should keep on doing the thing that it does well and scale everything more. I think I've been hearing a lot about like AI and generative AI and all of those things, and yes, it is important as cues for what is happening right now and in the next 5 to 10 years time frame. But to reach really beyond and make an impact, I think we should go to the roots, and also increase the impact in science itself. So these days it's not enough to be a physicist or a data scientist or chemist or biology neuroscientist. The silos are breaking, even though we do not quite notice it. Everyone needs to learn computers. Everyone needs to know how to handle data. Everyone should know how to gather insights from data and inform their decision making. So I think we should go back to sciences more, and then use all of the CS, AI, all of the knowledge that we are getting from our training here at IIIT to make impact in science as well, which I don't see as much happening, largely from all of India, but IIIT also. So, but we have such a unique situation in India that any problem that we have anywhere else in the world is only magnified, and it's so much richer if you tackle it in India, right? So I hope people realize the richness of their experience and their training here, and how it can impact the society at large, both in the science areas as well, and society at large, right? So just look at the problems that you all are facing right now in whichever context you are in, and see how your training can help, right? And so don't silo yourself. I mean, it was enough for someone to be good at computer vision or NLP or spoken language or what have you, but now the silos are breaking down, right? Like, we need systems that perform in the wild. We need systems that can engage with humans in deployed environments and at the edge. So how can we do it better? We have to go back to what are the basic representations for vision or language. So I mean, my own path towards this has been looking at the human brain, and inferring what is the right representations for knowledge that we can glean from the human evolved representations. But that's a deep dive there. I'll end there, but I just want to end with science, scale, and society.
Thanks, Gopala. Yeah, so while you
touch upon the fact that we should go back to the roots and fundamentals. I think that brings us to our next section as well. So I thought we'd do a rapid fire and digress a bit away from visioning for the future and dwell a little bit in the past and we spice it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I shoot questions and Ashwini, Gopala, Asim, Pramod, and Rahul in that order. You just have to answer me whatever comes first to your mind, all right? And we keep on doing this until my questions have expired. And if someone wants to join in from the public after I'm done, then maybe they can also pitch in, right? So we'll keep it open. But yeah. So I'll go first with Ashwini. Your fondest memory from college, Ashwini?
Coffee and night walks with my hostel mates.
Awesome. I think I'll do a plus one to that. Then Gopala, what has changed in IIIT from the time you left? One thing.
I couldn't possibly answer that. I've not been on campus for a very long time, but it is more visible now, and I'm happy.
All right, yeah, that's I take that as an answer. Yeah, valid answer. All right, then Asim, what are the biggest challenges that you have faced in your career?
Biggest challenges personally many to the paradigm shift from a job seeker to a job provider, getting out of the comfort zone.
Right answers. Okay, Pramod, the next question to you. Complete the sentence for me. The mess food was for me. Fill in the blanks.
Very bad.
Okay, all right.
And I had to eat it for a lot more time than most of you had to.
I just had my meal at IIITH house.
After spending 2-3 years in college, yeah, I mean, but it's okay. We all know the food was still not there. Okay, then Rahul, who was your favorite professor?
Can't be a similar answer, right?
Oh, be smart, no?
I think for something Gupta because of doing computational geometry. So if I have to pick one, it would be that. Yeah.
All right. And back to you, Ashwini. What's your favorite go-to spot when you were sad?
Sorry, what was that? Go to?
What was your favorite go-to spot in college when you were sad?
When I was sad, I think actually it was outside the campus. I would generally go to a bookshop and try to cheer myself up and buy some books. So, yeah.
Yeah, shopping does help me as well. Yeah. Okay, then back to you, Gopala. What is your least favorite college memory? Maybe an embarrassing one as well. Whatever.
You're giving the toughest ones to me. So my least favorite college memory, I guess. Oh, I could spend a lot of time, but I think when I was a dual degree student and coming back after my so I was in exchange program, and then after I came back, no one was there from my undergrad batch, so it felt very lonely.
Okay. Then Asim, one lesson from college that you will never forget.
So that was about getting up early, and Professor Govindraj Julus sir was always very pushy about it. He would come in the labs, take a round, and ensure that nobody was in the labs, after a certain time. So he instilled that discipline, No, yeah.
I think we should have one round of applause for Professor Govindraj. Then Pramod, if you were given a chance to relive school life or college life, what would you pick and why?
School life. College life is still little fresh in my memory.
Okay. School life.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Then last one. Old boys hostel or new boys?
Hostel. 72. So.
Sure, you want to close out that?
Yes.
That's what it will be. Thank you so much, people. Thanks. And I want to thank my batchmates. Some of them have come from outside Ahmad as well. Cheer for him. Thank you so much. Yeah, sure, sure.
Thank you so much, all of you guys, for discussing such an important topic. I found like I can look forward to the changes that this panel discussion has brought among all of the professors who are listening to this. And possibly we will be the people who would probably see the changes that you guys aspire to see. Yeah. Okay, so I would like our moderator to give the mementos for Rahul sir. For Mr. Atim sir. And for Mr. Pramod Nair sir.
So now, of course, as Vipul sir mentioned, we can't forget a moderator. So Vipul sir, we invite you and we invite Professor Praveen Parachuri once again to the stage. So a big thank you to our two moderators for two wonderful panel discussions. And we thank all of you for being such a great audience. We have our, at 4 p.m., we have our Hall of Fame. Oh, it's right now. So it's starting right now. So we request all of you to slowly proceed to H105 this time. Oh, my bad. Please proceed outside H105. Thank you.